Good morning. Thanks for sharing your plan. I've got it open in X11 Sheet Premiere. I'm going to program it for allowing editing in Home Designer products. And then I never use the grid. I'm going to turn the grid off. There and there, the visible snap grid and the those little points there. I'm just going to hit the delete key. That should get rid of those. Yeah. Excuse me. Now this apparently is the area of address. I'm going to do an overview. Here it comes. It's just some material textures that are missing. It's not important. Okay, I'm going to change the camera type from standard to vector view. I'm going to turn the color off. Okay, so I'm looking on my other monitor. I'm looking at well, the picture you shared. I assume that's the existing house. So that's the target of what we want to come up with. I got that on my second monitor. First thing I noticed was that these two roof planes here. This one, press the shift key, left click to select both. In the picture, they're where's the edit toolbar? I don't see the edit toolbar. Try that again. Okay, I need to fill the screen. That it was down here. Okay. I'm gonna press the shift key and click on these. Now I'm gonna open the dialog box for those two roof planes here and here, and go to the options tab and box the eaves. On your house, the eaves are boxed. You'll see that those turn into boxed eaves. Okay, now we need a, I can't tell from this photograph what the pitch of this little roof over the porch is. That's okay. Now it looks like to me that this is part of the gable here that's facing. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I can't tell just from the photograph, that's what it looks like. So what I'm going to do, excuse me, I'm just going to guess, and I assume this roof plane here, I'm going to open its dialog box. When you built it, come on, dialog box. Ah, there you are. You got it at 812, and it's probably close enough to what the actual pitch is. But this one over the porch is not 812. It's going to be like, if it has shingles on it, it can't be any less steep than 312. So I'm just going to change the pitch to 312. That's called manual roof editing. See, now everything else that you built is still 8, except this one that I manually set to 312. It looks like this 312 roof wraps around the porch. So I'm going to go to plan view for that. And I'm going to do the same thing here and here. I'm going to take those two roof planes and change them from 8 to 3. I'm just guessing. Okay, so now the porch roofs are 3, and I don't think I want them climbing up roof like the automatic roof generator made them go. I'm going to pull this down until it's just over the porch, like that. Take this one. Oh, no, I don't want the dimension. I'm going to delete that. Click here and break the edge of this one so that it's not crawling up over the porch. It's just over the porch now. Same thing here. All of this stuff, I'm just going to put it over the porch only. Bring this in. Probably go something like that, and that at an angle like that, and then this. We're just reshaping what the program created automatically. The automatic roof generator is just a mechanical device that reacts to what you tell it to do and how you preset things. Now, as I said earlier, this one, nah, not the furniture. Let me turn the furniture off. That looks like an architectural block, actually. So it's probably, yeah, architectural block. And I'm going to go and turn furniture off too. I don't need furniture for this exercise. Yeah. You can turn those layers back on later when you're ready. Okay, I think this part of this gable, see this gable comes up to here and then travels on up. And what I just did, let me show you in a camera view. See, now I've created half a gable up here. Let me change the viewpoint here. I'm going to do the same thing on this, or a similar thing on this side. Bring it up to the front. It's best to do this sort of roof editing manually. I'm going to hit Shift F on the keyboard, Shift F6 to tile the screens. So when you're learning manual roof editing, this is how I learned it, by working partly in plan view and partly in camera view. So you can develop, most architects have the ability to visualize just with their mind's eye three-dimensional roof design and things like that. They just, over the years, they develop a facility for it, and I have developed that facility. And, you know, to some degree, you need to also. I'm going to look, it looks like this edge here of this gable comes down. I don't know, I doubt that it comes in totally flat, but it's going to come in something like that. I'm going to go, we'll change the view of this to, let's see, yeah, view direction, front view. So this is about similar to the camera view. Alter it just a little bit. That's not too bad. That's roughly it. Okay. So I'm going to go back over here to plan. You can see that the edge of this roof here is at a 45-degree angle. And that's when it was auto-generated. This one was at the same pitch, 812, and this is 812. And when they mate, they would create, you know, by simple geometric factors, a 45-degree angle, but a 312 and an 812 will not. So I'm going to take this roof plane and alter its edge. Get rid of that. Okay. We'll break that. Yeah. And change this one so that it can attach to the other roof at whatever angle the software decides is appropriate. So I'm going to use the Join Roofs tool. And you can see that they joined. And just like in your photograph, it's a little bit higher than this one. This one's higher than this one. So that's pretty close. Now we're far from being done, but this edge here needs to be perpendicular, parallel to the walls of your house. I'm going to do that. Same thing on this edge of this part of the gable. I'm going to make it parallel, perpendicular. And then line up the edges. Okay, have that cleaned up. Okay. And you can see, now I know from experience that this roof is going to overhang this wall. So I'm just going to drag it over there past the wall. If you really look at the, oh, okay, the overhang's not this much. It looks like it's about 6 inches. So I'm going to set it to 6 inches. There we go. And I'm going to make the other side match. We'll just snap that into place. And cleaned up again. Okay, so there's no attic wall here, as in your house. So I'm going to go up to, in the plan view screen, I'm going to go up to the attic and turn on the reference display so I can see where the wall goes. Go over here to exterior walls. Just left click and drag. Whoops. I just noticed that angle snaps are off, so I'm going to delete this wall. Well, hit the delete key. There we go. I'm going to turn angle snaps on. Excuse me. Now we'll try that again. Now I doubt that you've got your default exterior wall set to 6-inch walls, and I don't think that's what, yeah, this is what you should have the software set to, which is siding 4. So I'm going to go back up to the attic and take this and open it, go to wall types, and change it from siding 6 to siding 4. It's just a slight change, but it's just, also this wall, you know, is up here in the attic, so if it was auto-generated by the software, it would already be marked no room defined, no locate, and attic wall. So I'll just do that again manually. And now I want it to line up over the wall below. I'm going to just drag it over in place and then use this tool. Whoop, okay, it's snapped into place. Now this wall that was auto-generated behind it, I don't care. This is the one I'm interested in. I'm going to go to this 3D screen, and for some reason it's being chopped off here, so I'm going to click on it. Click on it over here and extend this one over here like that. And this is the software saying, I made that, and are you sure you? Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Okay, it's still messing up a little bit. I'm not quite sure why. But otherwise, it looks pretty good. Let's see now. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to close this camera. I'm going to look at it in a backflip cross-section camera. It will include just that wall. So your backflip cross-section goes from where you left click on the screen to where you'll release the mouse, and that's all you see of the model. Okay. So that wall that I drew is underneath the edge of the yeah, okay, I see what's happening. I've done this before, so it's not all that mysterious to me. A new person, that wall I drew is up here, and it's out of alignment with this wall here. And I've got the edge of the roof plane, but that's the upper one. Here's the lower one. See, it's just shy of this wall here. And roof planes, excuse me, are pre-programmed to be cut off by roof planes. You know, to you guys that complain about me clearing my throat, I can't help it. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to use the arrow keys and move this up screen until it makes the other one go away, and then I want to get it properly aligned. Well, I wonder why it's not aligning with that. It should. I just deleted those manually. I should get an alignment indication. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Okay, let's see if that helped. Well, okay, that means the edge of this roof plane is cutting off this wall. Oh yeah, see it right there? That slanted line, that's what's causing that. So I have to take this roof plane edge and parallel it up perpendicular to the exterior wall, and then drag it so it's not chopping off that wall above. There we go, right about there. Voila. Okay. Okay, now it looks like it's bored and bad up there, so I'm going to go back to an overview camera. Got some bored and bad over here, so get the eyedropper to pick that up. Make sure that the eyedropper is in component mode, and it is. And we'll drop it over here on where it's supposed to go. Okay, so there's some other cleanup type things here that need to be done, like this edge here. Let me alter that. You can see it's following this angle here, but on your house it doesn't. It goes in and folds under the porch roof. So the way you do that, again, manually, take the brake line tool, left click. We're going to break it right up about there, and then just reshape it. And then we'll let it terminate right before the porch wall right here. And if you look at a bunch of houses, that's how they do that in the field. Now, ours isn't perfect, like a perfect match to yours, but it's pretty close. Let's see. Oh yeah, you got some sort of pony wall thing going on here. There. I can't tell if that's white brick or what, but and it's over here on the porch also. If you've never done that before, it's pretty easy. I'm going to take this wall, and that wall, and this wall, and I suppose that wall. Open them up. And then we'll go to wall types and see there's a pony wall checkbox here. Now I don't want brick 6 on the bottom because it doesn't match the siding 4 above and what's on your house. So I'm going to change this wall type to brick 4 so that the framing will match up and align. And let's see, display and plan view. Align pony wall at, see right there? Wall center. I think I would want it aligned with the inner surface. The reason I say that is because that's sheetrock here and sheetrock here, and you want those to line up on the inside. The masonry being thicker will stick out some from the siding. And we don't want red brick, so I'm going to go over here and click OK. And excuse me, I'm going to go over here to edit default settings. And this time we'll go to materials. And let's see, walls exterior. See, yeah, this isn't your default. You don't have that set. I think it's, let me see what you actually do have it set to. I know there's some board and bat, but the main siding is this stuff here. So I'm going to use the define material. It's just white siding. Okay. So the edit default settings material. Default settings material. There it is. Exterior wall ought to be set to not this, but what you're actually using for this project, which would be white siding. We'll go down to the W's. Come on. There it is, white siding. That's what you're actually using. And so this puts the program on your side. Now we don't want red brick. I mentioned that earlier. So I'm going to use this tool here. It's called Adjust Material Definition. I'm going to click on the brick. And see, there's a color here, material color. I'm going to click on that and change the material color to white, which initially it doesn't do anything. You can see the preview here, it's still red. You have to go over to the texture tab and click on blend with texture. Now we got white brick. And height-wise, that's about right. I'm just looking at the photograph. Yeah, otherwise you got it pretty well going on. I would also just, you know, me being me, I would put a terrain plane in. Create terrain plane. And I'll set you set the terrain plane to the house. In other words, there's a setting right here, auto rebuild terrain. No, that's not it. Right here, you uncheck automatic, and then you can adjust how high the terrain plane is relative to the model. And usually the garage is lower because the garage is at ground level, so you can just drive into it. So I usually set the garage a little bit lower. Let's open that garage dialog box. And you can see it's at 0 inches. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, it's at -3.5. I usually set -6 because the floors of garages are slanted. And so in Chief, you would, or in Home Designer, you would set the floor level to the lowest part, which is usually right under the garage door. So -6 works for me in most cases. But you can always just measure and figure out what the difference in the floor height is in the garage and the house. We'll go back to the overview. And see, it's a little more realistic. Now, there's still kind of a bump there. So I'm going to click on the terrain, open the, and see it's set to 8 inches. Minimum code is 6 inches. So, and by that I mean, I'm going to set it to 7 inches. And that'll raise it 1 inch. Code says that the distance between the bottom of the siding and the grade can't be less than 6 inches. That's where I get that figure. So that's a little bit more finished looking, and most of us aren't structural engineers, and we're not licensed to design foundations. So my foundations are merely cosmetic. Okay, the only thing is missing is the fireplace chase, and an easy way to do that in Chief or Home Designer Pro. Let me turn the furniture back on. Go to architectural blocks. Oh, I don't want the labels on. Yeah. And furniture. I turned it off earlier. Okay. Is that the fireplace? It is. Okay. So we want to put the chase right over that. And of course, I don't have your house to measure, so I'm just going to go up to the attic with the reference display on. This is just an easy way to do this. Maybe it's not the most accurate, but I'm just going to draw a polyline here. And it looks like your chase is about 24 by 24. Okay, that's fairly lined up on the stove below. And I'm going to convert that. See in the edit toolbar down here, convert polyline to a slab. And it looks like you got about 6 feet sticking through the roof, so we'll set it to 6 feet in thickness. And it's got white on it, but I can't tell if it's white siding, white brick, or white board and bat. It doesn't look like board and bat, so it looks kind of like masonry. So, but I don't know. But what I'm going to do is go over to the materials tab and set the materials to a plan material of red brick. That's the one I made white. Yeah, see there's red brick 5, AKA white brick. And before I close this, see it's 72 inches tall, but the bottom is minus 72. So that's not going to work. I'm going to set this at 12 feet to the bottom. Then we'll go to a cross-section camera. Right to there. Again, a back clip is the easiest to use. There's that chase that I put up there with brick on it. And I'm just going to drag it down until it disappears into the roof. And there's our chase. Excuse me. Next thing is, see, I'm going to type in fireplace. And I don't want a fireplace. People already put the fireplace, but that'll usually get me a, yeah, stuff like this, fireplace cap. But yours is not that. Yours is a square shape. Just looking for it. I've been using Chief for over 20 years, so a lot of this stuff I've collected over the years, and you won't find it on the catalog page. Nevertheless. Here, that's what I'm looking for, screen cap. See? That looks kind of like what you've got. So I'm going to stick that in the attic. I'm going to put it over here next to my chase so I can see it in this elevation camera. Not that camera. Okay, now I can't see it, and that's because the layer it is on is turned off. That's the way it always happens. We go over here to display options. I think that's on fixtures exterior. I've had this happen more than once. We'll go over to fixtures exterior. Yep, see it's unchecked. And there it is. So now I can just grab it and drag it up there, stick it on top unceremoniously. No, need to make it wider. Not that wide. Okay, now I'm also going to do another cross-section camera at 90 degrees so I can get the dimensions correct on this thing in this axis. It's not wide enough. Well, it's not as wide as I decided to make it. I'm trying to select it to get moved. There we go. No move. There we go. I had to just keep clicking on it until the move handle showed up. Okay, we'll save, close this camera, go back to the overview, and that's kind of done. It looked like in your photograph, it's a little bit taller than I've got it, so we'll click on that. And I think it's about twice that, so we'll make it 8. Hopefully yeah, okay, that looks better. Okay, so that's it. Hope this helps you. I'll post the video when it's formatted and a copy of this plan. Hope this helps you and others. Have a good day.